Hello, my name is Tuolumne McCutcheon, and today I'll be doing a presentation for a class. The class is HWE 200, Introduction to Health and Wellness. My instructor is Dr. Shepard. Today's presentation will be a feature on a chart that we were giving that reviews eating behaviors and nutritional guidelines. The set of questions given were, how does your fat and calorie intake compare with the target levels? The targeted levels that dictated my fat and calorie intake were on a light day. It was based on a light day, which is when I have plenty to do on my plate and I'm not necessarily focused on what I'm eating. Usually if a person is very busy, they don't really have time to eat and they're just snacking on a little bits in here, So for instance, I have a candle business, and dealing with a lot of fragrances, it kind of ruins my appetite to eat. So those are the days that are really light. And yesterday was a very light day because I was focused on making some for a dear friend of mine. I tend to eat less. My calorie intake was 800 to 1,000 calories within the last 24 hours. My food is the farthest thing from my mind, and this day my saturated fat intake was about 2 grams. My targeted goal compared to this was it was below the nutritional standard guidelines, and this was because I have not added my main dishes to the course to make it a complete healthy meal. So if you slack on your daily nutritional guidelines, you don't have the fat intake or calorie intake based on the nutritional guidelines. And I slacked on this day that I'm comparing it to. What vitamins and minerals fell below the targeted level? The vitamins that fell below with me were my vitamin A. My target was 700 micrograms and I reached only a little over 400, and this was due to the lack of nutritional food that I had eaten that day. Subsequently, your nutritional vitamins come from foods that have proteins and fiber and carbohydrates to keep up your energy. I don't know why my energy was working so well with me balancing out my work schedule along with my candles, but I just was focused and determined to get it done, so I really wasn't concentrating on food. How does your protein intake compare with the targeted level? My protein level was enormously below target. It ranged about 18% in grams when it was targeted at 45%. 10% of which the calories were taken from the amount of protein in my diet this particular day was pretty substantial for the amount of food that I had eaten. Protein again comes with the food that is presumed to be healthy. There is protein that comes from food that is not healthy, but it doesn't do the job that it's supposed to do. Explain the importance of consuming the following minerals. Minerals can help with saturating the body with oxygen compounds. These compounds take oxygen throughout the bloodstream, according to our text. Calcium and magnesia, to name a few, provide energy, and they are found in foods like cheese, yogurt, and milk. Vitamins can assist with the immune system, fighting off diseases. Naturally, there are positive and negative diseases that the immune system helps to balance out. Vitamin D fights off inflammation, according to our text. Carbohydrates, They are filled with nutrients. There are three kinds: sugar, starches, fibers, according to our text. And our text tells us that 45 to 60% of the calorie intake on a daily basis is a good supply of carbohydrates for one's body. Based on the nutritional guidelines in our text, it tells us that carbohydrates, there are negative ones and there are positive ones. And the ones that are good for us are the ones that help supply the body with the needs to give us energy. Water, it acts as a medium for chemical reactions, and it carries oxygen and nutrients that regulate the body temperature. As we all know, water is the only mineral that humans cannot duplicate. So we should take very, very careful and be mindful of the amount of water that we waste. And we do tend to waste a lot of water. But water is very important as a balance, a chemical balance for nutrients in our body. It helps to distribute oxygen through different cells in our body. Protein. It's a chemical structure, and it helps with adding muscle and cartilage and antibodies, and acts as a source of energy throughout our body, according to our text. Without protein, you don't get the amount of strength that it gives us to do the simplest exercises in life. Fiber, it acts as a laxative. It is important in reducing heart disease, according to our text. 25 grams is the daily recommendation. Different instances for fiber is like Metamucil, bread, oats. These give us a form of laxative which help passes food throughout the body. Fat. Fat is a substance not water suitable. It provides insulation and a source of energy. For example, they always say that people that are a little big size, I will say not fat, but really healthy people, they tend to be a lot hotter than the average skinnier person, and this is because their body contains a lot of water suitable ingredients. They tend to just be warmer because they are a bigger size. Like whales have blubber, and this protects them against the cold and the water. So fat is essential in some ways to the body. There's some good fat and there's some bad fat. Some ways of bad fat examples are fatty foods, greasy foods that clog our arteries. These are examples of fat that do not do the body any justice. I was surprised to learn that my calorie intake was so high. 2,400 calories was my intake, and on a daily basis, this is pretty much what I absorb. The effects that my diet has on my health is that I see my weight as an issue, and I can tell that I'm not losing anything by the amount of calories that I do intake. However, some people need a lot of calories to function through the day, and I can tell with my body that if I don't have a lot of calories, that I become kind of sluggish, and I just lack energy. And some of it is not positive energy. I mean, I could eat a good snack like a Rice Krispie treat and I'll have some energy. More so enough energy to probably go and get another one, but just some foods do give me energy, and they have to, the chart teaches me that they have to be the the positive type of foods to provide my body with the nutrients that it needs on a daily basis, according to our text. Does my dietary intake protect you or increase your health risk? It's a lifestyle change, and it brings awareness to such factors that I could probably die from. Ultimately, 56% of people die from these factors. Heart disease is one factor, and diabetes that is caused from not having a healthy diet and not enough protein in the body to help fight off or to build your immune system to fight off diseases. 2 ways that I could improve my diet. Be more moderate with my physical activity. It says that, according to our text, that 2.5 hours of intense activity is needed in order to sustain a healthy lifestyle. Being physically active helps strengthen muscles as well. Walking, riding bikes, and running is a form of activity that will help build the heart rate up. This has been a presentation in healthcare. Thank you very much.